What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show, the home of epic conversations. And I'm the host of Epic Conversations.
Something's got to separate you from the rest. So you got to be willing to do whatever.
In my experience, Black men have struggles like having community with each other.
But she represents the mammy stereotype.
Now that was epic. I needed that. What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2018 Innovation Award winner, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads, fathers, and male caregivers. It's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care, and being part of that movement, the team that I'm a part of has reached out to over 500,000 dads, fathers, and male caregivers around the world. And as always, I like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. Want to say thank you, whether you're watching live on the replay, to the Dr. Vibe show. We don't take it for granted. So what are we going to do? There's so many different ways I could approach this today. All right, let's do it this way. We're broadcasting live on March 6th, first Friday of March, and on all first Fridays for the last little while of the month, we have Wayne Harris here doing financial first Fridays. So Wayne will be up in just a moment. I don't know if I should just go to a commercial first or do housekeeping first. I'm not sure. You know what? I'm actually going to, I don't know what to do. Okay, let's do this. So subscribe to the Dr. Vibe show on YouTube and hit the notification button. And also like the Dr. Vibe show on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Blue Sky, and Substack. If you want to advertise your business, product, or service on any of the platforms that we're on, please feel free to email me, dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. And Indie Soup TV. If you don't know about it, I'm going to tell you about it. That is a platform run by our good friend, Dr. Tachi, based out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And it's an independent content creators network on the YouTube platform. And in about 2.5 years, she has generated to have that platform to over 28,000 subscribers. So think about it. If you look at all YouTube channels, Indie Soup Media, run by Dr. Tachi, powered by Dr. Tachi, that has about 25 independent content creators, including myself, is in the top 4% of all YouTube channels. Go figure that out. Go figure that out. Also want to do a program alert. If you are hanging out, coming up this Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern time, myself, Kofi Sadat, and Kofi Morris will be speaking with Black therapist Joe Corley about Black men embracing therapy. So that's another thing. All right. And one more thing we're going to put up. You see, I just got piles of things coming up for you right now. So we got another thing for you. And we got that. And people are going to go, what's that all about? So let's do this doing right now. So this is what we're going to share with you. Whoever controls the narrative controls the outcome. For too long, global media has told our stories through a distorted lens, framing Black communities with stereotypes instead of truth, death, and dignity. That ends here. The African Diaspora News Channel presents the ADNC Narrative Power Summit, landing in Toronto on July 25th, 2026, for one powerful night of media, culture, and connection. This high-impact gathering brings together Black journalists, media professionals, creators, activists, and policy thinkers, and grassroots organizers from across the African diaspora to shift narrative power back into our hands. Headlined by Philip Scott, founder and CEO of the African Diaspora News Channel, the summit enters the essential role of Black-owned media in shaping truth, influencing policy, and driving economic and cultural change. Through dynamic panels, unfiltered conversations, and practical tools, you'll learn how to challenge harmful narratives, counter misinformation, and leverage storytelling for advocacy, accountability, and economic empowerment. Beyond the stage, this is a full experience with walk the black carpet, capture the moment at the media wall, enjoy dinner, curated drinks, and live performances featuring Juno Award-winning artist Carlos Morgan and his band. Media narrative is shifting. Make your voice part of the story. So why am I putting that up? Well, one reason is because I support Black media and I'm part of Black media. Second of all, I'm actually hosting the event and one of the panelists one of the panelists for the event. So just putting that out there. So make sure if you're in the Greater Toronto area or a good reason to visit Toronto for that event, I encourage you to check it out. Hey, and look who's in the house. Dr. Tachi, how are you doing? Good to see you as always. And hey, I just mentioned Indie Soup Media. Look who shows up, the person behind Indie Soup Media. So good to see you, Dr. Tachi. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to quick 30-second break. And then when we come back from that break, we're going to have Wayne Harris in the house. We're going to talk about spring. Hopefully he's going to come to Toronto. We're getting warmer weather. Let's make sure we get it. So let's go for a break right now.
Check out Primetime Saturdays with Aisha and Lala.
We're live every Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern
With Aisha K. Staggers
and Laura Lala Key,
where we try to make sense of the nonsense
going on in American politics and culture.
You don't want to miss it.
We'll see you on Saturday.
Watch Black Canada Talking live on Sundays at 5 p.m. Eastern, where Dr. Vibe and Cesar de Mamusa give their takes and POVs on news stories from a Black Canadian perspective.
All right, so tomorrow, Saturday, because we're broadcasting live on a Friday, you've got Primetime Saturday with Aisha and Lala at 5 p.m. Eastern time. They'll be discussing the sense and nonsense going on in American politics and culture. And I will tell you, they'll be talking about, that war thing. And they're also going to talk about Kristi Noem being released as Department of Homeland Security head. Gone. And then we've had, Bob, as I said, Black Men Can Talk. Actually, we got two shows on Sunday, 5 p.m. Sunday afternoon, Cesar de Mamusa, and then 8 p.m. on Sunday, Black Men Can Talk. All right, without further ado, he is in the house. He's been running around all day. We're glad to get him to stand still for a little bit. Mr. Wayne Harris is in the house. Talk to me. Unmute yourself, Dr. Harris.
Let's go.
Let's
How's
go.
it
What's
going?
been going on?
Buddy, I'm out there in those streets, Dr. Vibe. Let me tell you, the fact that it's above zero is amazing for me being out there. But this morning I almost broke my back because it's bare freezing rain on my driveway.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Had to go out and salt it. But it was a great day today. Let me tell you. I woke up this morning, went to the gym, working on my fitness. You know, hear me now, believe me later, Dr. Vibe. I'm a Muslim man. Definitely have to be old enough to remember Hans and Franz. But I went to an event called Iron Sharpens Iron with my new friend, Troy Crossfield, and spoke about estate planning to a group of Black men from late teens to older than me.
Wow.
And I was surprised by the diversity of ages in the room. I was out in Scarborough on Thermos. What's the name of the place? It's education
area.
Yeah, the Education Center for Black Youth, Career Center.
Yeah.
CEE. Yes. What a facility. I had no idea this existed in Toronto. So cool. I didn't have time to go through all the different areas, but a lot of creatives in there, a lot of things for people in the diaspora to do. I was very impressed with that facility. I had no idea it even existed. But this morning I went out there and talked about Will's power of attorney and the different ways to avoid or speed up probate for people's estates, and it was well received. So shout out to Troy Crossfield and the folks out there for doing a great job with the Iron Sharpens Iron group. And then I left immediately from that spot and drove across town to Etobicoke to go speak to young men. This class was all men. There was about 30 of them.
Wow.
Not 30. No, 30, about 15, 16 of them. 15, 16, sorry. Two groups, 30 altogether, 15, 16 young men who are in the skilled trades. And these gentlemen are about to embark on making real money. And we have been commissioned with teaching them about how money works. So we went through the full life cycle of investing and insurance and all the different things, credit, debt, all the different things. The first thing they want to do when they're making 100 grand is go out and buy every color of Air Force Ones and Ford F-150s and put in big tailpipes and spinning rims. And we're trying to stop the madness before it gets too crazy for them. So that was my second. That was almost myself and my partner Ty. We did it with 4 hours, 2 hours for me, 2 hours for him, and we poured into these young men because they're about to become breadwinners, and we want to make sure they know what they're doing. So it was fantastic. A really, really good seminar. They're very engaged and very polite and professional at 18, 19, 20, 21. And they're about to make big people money. So we're getting them ready.
What was the most, out of both those events, were there any common questions you got on both presentations?
People didn't understand. Good question. People didn't understand that when you have your money in a bank or an investment firm, that all those funds, be their shares, be their crypto, be it mutual funds, all those things become a part of your estate and fatten up the size of your estate. And your estate is going to pay probate, which is in Ontario 1.5% of your estate value if the estate's valued over $50,000. There isn't anyone living in anything in the GTA that owns it that's less than $50,000. So therefore, you're going to pay probate. So we're trying to show them how to remove unnecessary assets from the estate side of the ledger and get it over to the insurance side of the ledger and get that money to people tax free. I was letting them know today that Bob Marley was in probate for over 30 years. Aretha Franklin's still in probate. Prince is still in probate. A new one, Jimi Hendrix, is still in probate. Chadwick Boseman is still in probate. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is still in probate. And Tupac is still in probate. So just to let you know that even people who are wealthy and have all types of good people around them are dying without wills, living wills, and power of attorneys.
I appreciate giving that background, Wayne. Can you just explain, because some people may not understand, what does probate mean?
Probate is a process of when someone dies in a common law province or in the United States in a state, the state has the ability to tax the estate at a percentage for the privilege of dying in that state. So as an Ontarian, my privilege is to pay probate of 1.5% of my entire estate value before any disbursements to my named beneficiary should I have them. And if I name the estate as my named beneficiary, I increase the size of my probate and how long it's going to take for it to settle before it gets to my beneficiaries, because at that point, someone is coming in to act as a trustee on my estate's behalf. I have to pay them, the lawyer, pay the accountant, and pay the trustee to do what I should have done with a written will that was notarized. So if you don't do it, you pay for those resources from the province of Ontario to take care of that on your behalf. And they're going to gladly make sure they get their ends before anybody you have in your mind's eye as you float up to heaven. They will make sure they take care of themselves. The CRA is in first position, then the creditors, then your family. So you're really leaving yourself, and how it's going to be dispersed and who's going to get what is really up in the air. So think about this. Imagine you have 3 children, and one child you pay for their home, the other child you pay for their school, right? And they go all the way to PhD. So it's a couple of $100,000 depending on where you are. And the third child, you say, I'll give it to you when I die, but you don't write a will. All 3 kids will disperse 33, 33, 33, even though the first 2 got the house and the education. So you really want to make sure you have it codified. And also, if you have a spouse, that can be problematic as well, because the spouse will get up to $350,000 of the estate guaranteed because she's a spouse, and then the rest is divided equally among the children, versus her getting it all or her getting half. So we have to look at those things. People were really surprised today because some people were separated and they were living with a new spouse, but their old spouse is still the beneficiary of everything they have.
Hmm.
And she has a new man. So imagine this person didn't make it home today. Her and her new boyfriend would get his entire estate because he didn't have anyone else on as beneficiary. It's that
Wow.
easy to lose it all. Crazy.
Isn't it that the old axiom? It's hard to make it, but it's faster to lose it.
Facts.
100%. 100%. Well, you're wanting to talk about spring into your finances 2026 smart money tips. I know you have things you want to share, and I always have conversation pieces. So how you want to roll today?
Well, first of all, thank you for that. Yeah, I'm going to walk you through a couple of things. I'm going to simplify it and say there are 3 life stages you could be in. All right, you could be young and unattached. Okay, the second is you've got a spouse and a couple of kids, and the third classification is you are pre-retiree or retiree. So you're 50 and above. So 18 to 40, let's say single. You could be single over 40, and that's fine. But for today's exercise, we're going to say families, between 25 and 55 years of age. I got married at 26, so I put 25. Excuse me. And then pre-retirees, Freedom 55 people, all the way up to octogenarians and beyond. First and foremost, as we come into spring, you want to do your spring cleaning. So the financial spring cleaning would be get all your receipts together. It's tax time. So hopefully you made the deadline of March 2nd in Canada for your RRSP, and you put that money in to go against your 2025 taxes, and you are ready to submit your taxes to a qualified tax preparer or accountant. And you are taking advantage of any and all expenses that you can write off and any and all tax deductions you can get, okay, regardless of what age you're at. A good accountant is worth their weight in gold. I know some people want to do their taxes on their own, and you can do that. I cut my hair on my own. It's a pretty simple cut, but I would at least once in a while, maybe once every 3 or 4 years, or once every life change, you get married or you have another child, or a child graduates and becomes an adult, maybe you want to have an accountant check and see if you're actually taking advantage of everything you can, because the CRA, Canada Revenue Agency, loves when you don't optimize your tax deductions. They love it, and tax credits. They benefit greatly when you become cheap and don't invest in a good accountant. I didn't say spend, I said invest, because a good accountant will find things that you may not have found, even if you're doing it yourself with TurboTax or whatever. So get that done first and foremost. Secondly, if you get a tax return, if money comes into your account from CRA and you feel great because you got a big tax return, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, maybe even more, understand this: the government of Canada taxed you so much that they use your money interest-free for a year and then gave it back to you. That's what a tax refund is. The government of Canada taxing you so much that they use your money to run their government for a year and then give it back to you without interest. That's a tax refund. You don't want a tax refund. You want to be as close to zero as humanly possible. And if you're not at zero, you need to talk to an accountant and or get a financial advisor to see why you're not as close to zero as humanly possible. I pride myself in not getting tax returns because I don't want the government using my money without paying me to do so. Now, just for current events for a second, I saw on the way home at a Petro-Canada diesel, which my vehicle takes, at $2 a liter. Dr. Vibe, let me tell you, back in the day, back in the day, Dr. Vibe, I could get 2 pieces of KFC and fries for $2. I get a liter of gas. That's $8 a gallon.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Gas has gone up 21 cents in 14 days. And going up again tonight. You better get out there and listen, last time I went to the gas station, I told Angie, hold your hand. I'm putting diesel in your hand. I told the kids, hold their hands. I'm putting diesel in their hands. I said, don't let it drip in the car. As soon as I get to where I'm going, I want you to pour it out your hand and pour it in the tank. I'm taking all the diesel. Listen, $2.
And remember, this is going to be a ripple effect throughout the economy, right? A ripple effect throughout the economy.
I can't even imagine what truckers
Oh
who
my
have
gosh.
18 wheelers
Oh
and
my gosh.
200-gallon tanks or
Oh
100
my
or 200 liter tanks. What you got a contract with somebody saying you're gonna deliver their stuff when diesel was $1.40. Now diesel's gone up 60 cents, and you can't change the contract. Wow. Listen, it's gonna get real fast. All right. So a lot of people ask me, spring cleaning, hey, something to think about. We just finished RSP season. RSPs were top of mind, but not RSPs not for everybody, right? You have to have enough money to really make it worth your while. Somewhere north of $75,000 a year, RSPs start making money from a tax deduction perspective, and that's great. But the other reason you can use your RSP for this season, where we're in a buyer's market for real estate, for the first time in a long time, housing prices in Toronto are coming towards reasonable again. So there should be somebody wearing a hat saying, make Toronto houses cheap again. Well, it's happening. And Toronto housing is going through a buyer's market. It was sellers for so many years. It became balanced a little while ago. And now it's moving towards the buyers. Great time to buy a house, and interest rates aren't too bad. I've heard today that someone got a 3-year rate at 3.6%.
Wow.
That's bueno. So now's the
Wow.
time. Oh, buddy, now's the time.
That's a good deal.
So the number of foreclosures happening all over Canada are crazy, and the pole position for foreclosures on houses is Brampton, Ontario. Okay, so it's getting a little crazy out there. So I want people to think about the RSP and the TFSA. Hey, if you're going to get an RSP and you have a high income, 6-figure income, or close to 6-figure income, RSP makes sense. Reduce your taxable income, bueno, right? So if you have $100,000 in income and you buy, to make the math easy, $10,000 in RSPs, it's as if you made $90,000. You get taxed at the $90,000 limit, as opposed to the $100,000 marginal tax bracket. And we have a stair-step marginal tax. It's not just one tax all the way across the board. It should be, because if it was, then we wouldn't need CRA. But that's why they have all these little things in there. TFSA is great, but RSP is good if you want to buy a house. In Canada, you have the ability to put $60,000 into RRSP, and that $60,000 can be used for a down payment on the house. And when you take it out of the RRSP, there's no tax on that. But you have 15 years to pay it back, and you have to pay back 1/15 every year until 15 years. If you don't pay back that 1/15 in any given year, that becomes income for you, and you pay tax on that money because you're no longer sheltering it. The other account that young people should look at, again, the 18 to 40 crowd, first-time homeowner savings account. Hey, if you don't have one, you missed a window in 2025. You can't go backwards like some other vehicles, but you can go forward from this year going forward. You can put $8,000 into the first-time homeowner savings account, and that's fantastic. Okay. You really want to look at the tax implication. RRSP is tax deferred, which means you don't pay taxes now, but you will pay taxes later. TFSA is tax-free forever. No matter what, you're going to get that money. Once it goes in there, it has already been taxed. It'll never be taxed again. And all the growth in that account, regardless of how much it is, will never be taxed again. Pro tip: do not name your spouse as beneficiary. Name your spouse as successor owner. Why? Because if you name them as beneficiary, if you pass away, they now have to go find some place for that TFSA that just cashed out, deemed disposition when you die. But if you have them as successor owner, they'll have their own TFSA, plus they'll have your TFSA. They'll have both of them can be open at the same time. Name your children or someone else as beneficiary, but name your spouse as successor owner, so the remaining spouse will have both TFSAs open. The same thing with non-registered funds. Okay.
Nice.
For the older folks, any questions in the chat?
Not yet. I have some, but I'll let you continue.
Okay. Let's talk about the older folks. All right. Let's talk about when to take CPP, Canada Pension Plan. Right. As you know, this is our Canadian pension that's supposed to allow senior Canadians to retire in dignity. The earliest you can get it is 60. Usually, the latest you can take it is 70. If you want to take it after that, after 70, there's really no advantage to doing so. But if you take it at 60, you take a haircut of almost 40% on what you would get for the rest of your life. If you take it at 65, you get what you get. If you take it at 70, you get a bump of almost 40% if you take it at 70. So you have to watch when you take it. If your income is still very high, when you are 60 years old, you can take it if you want. But if your income is very, very high, I wouldn't wait till 70. No one's promised tomorrow. I would take it at 60 if you want and put it into your tax-free savings account. Something you can do if you want to take it early. If you have a pension from somewhere else, let's say you are a public servant at one of the 3 levels of government, you can take a CPP early because you're covered as a nurse or as a doctor, as a cop, as a fireman, as a public servant. You have that money covered. You can take it early if you want and start living your best life if you take early retirement. But 65 is when most people take it. If you take it after 65, it increases by 8.4%. If you take it at 70, it's 42% higher than 65. So it's a pretty good idea if you want to have more, assuming you're going to live longer. Take it a little late and get a 42% bump. The other bucket that we have for seniors is something called OAS. OAS is old age security. So old age security kicks in at 65 is the earliest you can get it. The good news is maximum CPP right now is $1,200 to $1,400 depending. Maximum OAS a little less than $1,000. But if you're making too much money, over $93,000 with your pensions at the age you take OAS, they will start clawing back OAS. You pay into it for your whole life from 18 to when you retire, and if you make too much money when you start to take it out, you may not get it. So you really have to consider what's the advantage of working longer past the age of 65 or past the age of 70 if your OAS is going to take a hit. And some people just make too much money their whole life. They'll pay into OAS every paycheck, but they'll never get it because they made too much money. All right. There are 4 income sources when you retire. The first is Canada Pension Plan. The second is OAS. The third is your RRSP withdrawals, which become a RIF, Registered Retirement Income Fund, at 71. And then any investment income you have. All those 4 things will help create an income for you. Unless you have a property, you have rental income, you can add that as well. I'll pause here. You can ask a question.
Excellent. So I got some questions for you. What are you seeing in most of your conversations with clients in 2026? Is it debt stress, inflation, or just confusion about where to start?
Yes.
Okay.
All 3, all the above. All the above, doctor. People
Okay.
who are in debt, I'm doing a number of consumer proposals for folks, not myself, but we refer it to a company, and they will go and not consolidate the debt. They will go and they will eliminate the debt. Up to 75% of the debt will be eliminated, giving you a payment that you can, that's small enough for you to breathe and actually have the ability to invest in RSPs and TFSAs. Your credit is probably already a disaster if you're at the point of needing a consumer proposal. The consumer proposal will keep you in a damaged credit state until the proposal is satisfied, but you can breathe. If you're paying credit cards and payday loans and all these sort of things, and every month we had one guy, we'll call him Marco for the sake of anonymity. Marco was paying $1,965 in minimum payments every month.
How much?
$1,965 in minimum payments. After going through our facility, he was at $265 a month. That's how much of the debt we got rid of. And he had to pay $265 for 3 years, saving him almost $1,500 a month. And that $1,500 a month, he started with some financial literacy, and we got him into the TFSAs, and we got him into the RSPs, and now he's saving for a house with the first-time homeowner savings plan, and now he can live and he can breathe. Listen, the president of the United States has been bankrupt 3 times. There's no shame. There's no shame in this game, obviously.
So in a situation like that, and I don't like to use the word, what is the downside of, like, is it like what is his credit rating like? Does he have to rebuild his credit rating?
100%. So his credit rating was probably low 6 or high 5s before he came to the proposal. So it's going to stay down there, sub 6 for sure, sub 5 maybe, for 3 years. Okay. And he won't have access to a lot of his credit facilities. But once he comes out of that, 900 credit, it's a reset. And now he can go and apply for cards, but now they know what they're doing. The key here is not to use the consumer proposal as a repeat offender. It's to do it once, learn your lessons, level up your game, and then go back into the wild. So debt is, front and center with a lot of my people. People who are driving cars. Listen, if you don't fill up tonight, it's 6 cents tonight. Midnight, it goes up at 6 cents. 6 or 7. Listen, I use maybe 1/8 of my tank today to go to Scarborough. I'm going to go fill up. Right? No, I won't. But my wife's car is at half tank. I'm going to fill up my wife's car tonight because it's 6 cents more tomorrow. So I may as well fill it up.
Yeah, I've been I filled up after the first time it went up. Like I going to this week, I said, I should have filled up on Monday because it wasn't going up on Monday. I didn't catch the next day. The next day I said, I'm filling up because it ain't going down. It ain't going down for a while. And the ripple effect, again, I don't know if people realize when the price of gas goes up, everything goes up.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay, another conversation point for you. In this cost of living environment, how should people prioritize? Paying down debt, keeping up with bills, or building savings?
Yes.
Okay, I'm on a roll tonight.
Listen, you have a bill, and your bill is called Dr. Vibe. So you have to pay yourself first. I don't care what else is going on out there. Because you know what? Visa, MasterCard, Rogers, Bell, TELUS, all these guys, they don't know your name. They just know your account number.
I'll be back in just a moment. Oh, that's all right. We're good. Go ahead.
So pay yourself first. If you're making 4%, 3%, 2% on your money, and your debt's at 19%, maybe you should look at doing a little bit of both, a little less savings. I don't care if it's $50 a month, but put something in, because investing needs time, and losing time to pay bills only. I do not recommend that. You should always be saving something. Maybe you save less, but always saving something. Even if it's $50 a month, get it in there, because over time it will do its thing, and it doesn't have to make 1% and 2%. It can do a lot better than that, depending on your risk tolerance and where you are in life. But people need to have an approach to their debt where they're looking at, hey, am I going to pay off the highest interest rate debt first? You can do that. Some of these payday loans are 32%. You want to pay that off first and pay minimums on everybody else. Your credit doesn't get any more damaged, right? I think it's called avalanche. I always get them mixed up, avalanche and snowball. But one is pay the highest interest rate debt first, regardless of the balance, and pay minimum payments on all the other debt. That way you can put more money towards the debt that's killing you the fastest. That's one way of looking at it. The other way is if you want to get a quick win, do the smallest amount of debt you have, all hands on deck on that, minimum payments on everybody else, and get a win because you know in 2-3 months that debt will be gone. You'll have more money to put towards the other debt. Pick the next biggest one, minimum is everybody else. That one's gone, and keep going until you get rid of the big one. Really, we got to do the math to see. Usually, the highest interest debt first, regardless of the amount, and then go from there. Like I said, I saw people buying cars on 84-month financing at 29% interest because the payment was 175 biweekly on a car that was already 7 years old.
Dr. Tax says Wayne always has such great info.
Thank you, doctor.
Info. And here's another conversation for you. We're talking about cost of living and inflation. Canadians are telling pollsters that keeping up with bills and managing debt are top financial priorities in 2026. How should people adapt their strategies this year versus, say, 5 years ago?
Well, 5 years ago, we were in the heat of the housing market being super hot, but everyone was making, well, 5 years ago was the middle of COVID. So I digress. We're in the middle of COVID. Everything is shut down except for the liquor store, Home Depot, Canadian Tire, and the big box stores. All small business was shut down. So people were scrambling, and the government was giving them supplemental income, CERB, and all those sort of things to help people get over their debts. Doug Ford came on TV and said, "Don't pay your bills. Don't pay your rent. Don't pay your rent." And all the landlords, myself included, had tenants who heard from the throne what they needed to hear, and rent stopped being paid almost automatically after that came on TV. So 5 years ago is not really a fair comparison. It was a very, very different time. Gas was super cheap because no one was going anywhere. It would. I don't think society has recovered from COVID.
It hasn't.
Yeah.
Well, if I have your permission to interrupt, this morning I had Perry Douglas and Roger Dundas on, and Roger was saying, because Roger knows a lot about the restaurant industry, how many restaurateurs took that $60,000 COVID loan and are not able to pay it back and have gone under because they couldn't pay it back.
Right. Yeah, it's brutal.
Right.
And so I think a lot of restaurateurs have decided that not enough people are going out the way we used to go out back in the day. And there used to be a time where Thursday night people would go home, change, and come back out. If people get on that GO train, they're not coming back to downtown Toronto. They're not doing it, right? Even being in proximity in large crowds bothers some people. I mean, some people, they're not wearing a mask, but they're acting like they should be, right? In large crowd situations. Like, I'm not interested in going to a movie theater to see a movie. I don't care which movie it is. It could be the newest Avengers. I'm watching it in my yard, Dr. Vine. I don't care if the seats vibrate. I don't care if you're bringing the food to my chair. VIP. I've got a TV at home. It's HD, 1000K, 4000, 4K, whatever, right? The fridge is right here. And everything I need is right at home. So society has really modified its behavior. And we're just starting to get out of that feeling that tomorrow's going to be worse than today. I remember that feeling in COVID. Every day I watched that little ticker with all the dead bodies going up every day, millions and millions and millions of people around the world. It was really, really a rough time to be alive, but I'm glad I made it through. And only to find out, later on with this whole vax thing, I won't talk about it on the podcast, but I'm civil liberties were withdrawn, liberties were taken with freedoms. I'll just leave it right there. So as we come into spring and daylight saving starts on Sunday,
that's true.
Clocks spring forward. So you and I both know, we're old enough to know there's 1 or 2 more licks coming with snow before the leaves come on the trees. And Easter is not going to come without us getting a lick at least once or twice. Trust
Yep.
me.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So I want you to take a picture of the first person you see wearing shorts on Saturday because it's going to be 15 degrees.
Well, I saw someone wearing t-shirt and shorts just the other day. Forget the Saturday. It's already
That's what I'm talking
started.
about. That's
It's
what I'm
already
talking
started.
about.
Let me give you another conversation piece. If someone feels like every raise gets eaten by inflation, what are 2 or 3 concrete moves they can make this spring to regain control?
Great question. Because we're in a marginal tax bracket, sometimes getting a raise might put you into a higher tax bracket and reduce your take-home pay. So when you receive a raise, you should know the math on which tax bracket is available to you next and how much the raise needs to be in order for you to benefit from that raise and actually take home more money. So you can do that math yourself. I use the E and Y tax calculator. E ampersand Y space tax. Google it, and it will come up. Put in 2025 or 2026. Put in your salary, and you'll see what your marginal tax bracket is, and you'll see what the next one is. And if you stay in the same tax bracket, that raise makes sense. But if you jump a tax bracket, that raise may not make sense. So I may ask for more days of vacation as opposed to asking for more money. What's the second part of the question?
Second part of the question was, let me just go to what are realistic? What are realistic short term? No, I think hold on. Okay, hold on. No, okay. If someone feels like every raise gets eaten by inflation, what are 2 or 3 concrete moves they can make this spring to regain control?
Yeah, ask for loo time or ask for more vacation. So rather than taking time getting that raise, stay at the same level of rate, but ask to work from home one more day. Ask for, if I do overtime, I don't want extra pay. I want time off for vacation, so I can have 3-day weekends every month. There are things you can do that are non-monetary that you can negotiate with, especially with smaller companies. Larger companies, a little bit harder to do so. The other thing you want to look at is, hey, time to get a side hustle. If there's someone out there in Dr. Vibe land who still believes that having a job is the most secure thing they can do, I've got 318,000 Black women in the United States who work for the government who would beg to differ.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We've got thousands of Canadians being laid off on a weekly basis, and they only use acronyms now to say they're laying people off. The first acronym is DEI. The second acronym is AI. Okay? Either one of those raises their ugly head and you're done. Cooked. People who are making $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 salaries are being let go. You do not find those jobs in 2 to 3 weeks, not even 2 to 3 months. It may take you a year of interviewing to get back at the level you were at before you got let go. I saw people who I thought were untouchable get touched in the last 18 months from banks, from government. I mean, there are people who you would believe that if they had a child, they would name the child after the company they work for. They believe so much in that company and post it on LinkedIn like they were.
Yes, we know a number of people like that.
All right. And these people are there posting Dr. Vi, and we're excited. I'm part of the team, and oh my goodness, the company and the community, and they're gone. They're gone. We're talking about giants in the industry, in the game, especially in the financial services. Giants.
Yes, I know of. You and I won't say the person's name. There was someone who's was at a financial institution in a very high role for a number of years.
20. I know who you're talking about.
Yes. And I heard the other day, the person's got to go, what?
You could not be more publicly dedicated and loyal to a company than this person.
I hear you. Yep.
Every post
Yep.
was either by his family or this company. And thanks for the memories. Here's your 2-year package. Vest your stock. See you at the top. And by the way, he's easily 15 years from retiring.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So if you don't
Let
have a
me
side
ask-
hustle,
Yeah.
I got nothing for you.
Yep. More, and in fact, try to have more than one.
You only need one if it's the right one.
True. True.
Right.
Let me ask, when is it okay to use credit as a tool, and when does it become a trap in this environment in 2026?
Fantastic. Credit as a tool, if whatever you're going to buy with a credit is going to generate revenue. So if I'm going to buy 10 things at $5 so I can sell them at $10, credit is good. If I'm going to use credit to falsify my lifestyle at a level that I know I can't sustain, no bueno. Don't use that credit. The credit has to be used to buy assets that are going to generate income. If you do that, great. So if you tell me I'm going to borrow money to buy shares because the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, and NASDAQ are bleeding, and I'm going to buy in now knowing that this too shall pass, and before the end of the year, all things equal, I'll not only get my money back, but make money. Buying on margin, credit might make sense. But you have to have the stomach and the ability to sustain it. If it goes the wrong way, you don't lose your house. I see people playing big boy and big girl games, and they should be in the toddler pool, the splash pad. They should not be in the deep end of the pool playing these games, but they got crypto. I said, have you made any money? No, I have not. Great. I said, make sure it's not more than 10, 15% of your portfolio. Right? But people have, some people are all in, Dr. Vibe. So
I know.
Credit to create income, yes. Credit that is less expensive than other credits. So you can replace one credit with another. If you're paying 19, 21, 24% because you want to be an Avion card holder, or you want to get cash back at Costco with that MasterCard, and you can replace that with home equity line of credit at 4%, well, 4% is much better than 19 or 24. So swap credit for credit, that might make sense. But don't get it twisted. The cheapest credit you'll ever have is your mortgage. There isn't anything in the market that's going to give you a loan for less than a mortgage.
Yep.
So if you have high credit, this is where you can do a refinance and get rid of that high level credit to pay credit at 4 or 5%, 1 or 2 above prime, versus 19, 24%. So use lower credit to replace high predatory credit. Yeah.
I think that's a thing that a lot of people need not be aware of, though.
Well, listen, that's why they have to tune in. I'm going to give you another one. If you plan to age in place, which means you are going to stay in your home. So people who have these 4-bedroom homes in the suburbs that they bought back in the 80s and 90s that are now paid off. So they have no mortgages, they have their pensions from their jobs that they had, plus CPP and OAS. But now that income, now the kids are gone, everything's gone, the house is empty, and the house hasn't been updated since the 1990s. Since Cliff Huxtable was on TV, they haven't put a coat of paint on the house. Now they need to do things, but they don't have any money. It's just a fixed income because they use whatever they have to go to wherever they came from in the winter. And there's not enough money to do the lump sum to get it done. So the house never gets the maintenance it needs. There's a little something, a lesser known tool called a reverse mortgage. And reverse mortgage allows you to stay in your house, keep ownership of the house, stop paying your mortgage, and use the money for the reverse mortgage to finance your lifestyle. When you pass away, they'll look at what you borrowed and what you owe. They'll take that back. The rest goes to your named beneficiaries. If they can't pay back the loan, they just sell the house. Okay? So the reverse mortgage is another way for people to, and you don't have to take it lump sum. You can take it monthly. So I know some people who are taking their reverse mortgages just to give themselves an income so they can live their life. If you're in your 70s and you work 40 years or 35 years and you can't go to whatever island you came from for at least 3 weeks in February, it should almost be illegal to be over the age of 70 and be in Canada in February. It should be illegal, right?
After these past January and February, absolutely.
Buddy, double digit wind chill for like 5 weeks.
Especially on the weekends. There was about 2 or 3 weekends back. That was just out of bounds. Out of bounds. Out of
So I
bounds.
think, so going outside in that kind of cold, I think the technical term is idioting, right? Yeah, you can't be out there in that. Listen, I was born here. I don't want to be out there in that, right?
Oh my God.
I think every man and woman over the age of 70 should go somewhere warm 3 to 4 weeks every winter just to break it up. And you can do that with a reverse mortgage, and there's some other tools available to you. If you want to keep your house and you don't want to be in an apartment building, some people love gardening. They love their garden. They've been curating it for years and years. They love their neighbors and the neighborhood, and they don't want to go, but they don't have the money to do that. Reverse mortgage will solve a lot of problems. And again, not something I do personally. You have to be a mortgage broker to do it, but I have a referral mortgage broker network, and they do it on my behalf. So if you're down, let me know. It might be something for your parents. The older you are, the more money you get access to. The younger you are, I think the earliest is 55, and you don't get a whole lot. But once you get into your 70s and 80s, you can get a whole lot of money in that reverse mortgage to use it to do maintenance on the house, to travel, to give gifts to your kids while you're alive. Because if you get a home equity line of credit, you have to pay it back every month. Reverse mortgage, there's no bill payment every month. That's why they do it. Okay?
So once someone has stabilized cash flow, what's a smart way to think about saving versus investing in 2026?
First of all, the good news about savings is you can't lose money. That's the good news. Saving, you can't lose money. The bad news is you can't make money. Okay? When you're saving, you're trying to just break even. The cost of living in this country just went up. They're saying, the Bank of Canada is saying inflation is about 3.7%. That means your money needs to make 3.7 to break even. You need to make 4.7 to make 1%. The rule of 72 says 72 divided by the rate of return is how long it's going to take your money to double. 72 divided by 1 is 72. That means $10,000 will take 72 years to go to $20,000. Okay, that's a problem. So what we do is we have access to money market funds, bond funds, high interest savings accounts. We do a little bit of a mix. And again, you can't lose money, but you need to beat or meet. I'm Bajan, so I don't think you can hear the difference between those two words. Beat with a B, meet with an M. You need to beat or meet inflation to not erode the value of your own savings and investing. And investing should be, depending on your risk tolerance. We have things that are medium risk tolerance that are returning right now, up until a couple of days ago before the jets started flying, up to 19% in like a balanced fund. 60% equity, 40% fixed income was 19%. Can't promise you 19%, but that's what it was yielding over the last year. US was hot, 2025. US is not right now. Global is hot, but now there's a war in the Middle East. Maybe global is not. But guess what's hot? Energy is hot. Defense is hot. Healthcare is hot, right? So we have to move by sector and move the money around and change the table when the game has changed. You don't play Monopoly when you're playing on a Scrabble board. You play Scrabble on the Scrabble board, you play Monopoly on a Monopoly board. You have to know what table you're at and then have your friendly neighborhood financial advisor give them a call, reach out and say, hey, what do I need to do? Because the short-term and long-term thinking, if you are 24 years old and the market drops, I'm going to ask you a question, Dr. Vide. What's your favorite product of all time? Your favorite product?
That's a very good question. My
Mhm.
favorite product of all
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
No, that's such a
Like if
you
you
know,
see
I'll be
it, like if you see it, you have to buy it. What is it?
I don't know if I have something like that, Wayne. Really, if
Okay.
and my mindset is like it's changed. So I don't if I see something just like
Tell me your middle age without telling me your middle age, Dr. Vive, because you can't answer this question. But when I talk to the youths, them, they say Air Force Ones,
oh yes.
Jordans,
Yep.
Jordans. Okay, great. So here's the question: if Jordans cost $200 and they went on sale for $100, and you're used to paying 200,
Oh yeah.
would you buy more Jordans now that they're half price, or would you buy less?
People would obviously buy more.
Correct. So what happens why you change your mind when the stock market is on sale right
Yes,
now? Fire
exactly.
sale.
Exactly.
You should be buying more, not scared,
Buy the
right?
dip.
Buy the dip if you know it, if the dip is done. Because if the dip
True.
is not done,
True.
you might be buying more, and that's okay. It really comes down to how much time do you have?
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
playing this game at 75 are not playing the same game as someone at 25.
Correct.
How much time do you have, and how much risk tolerance
Tolerance.
can you stomach? Right? I know people who are taking freaking Tums right now because they see, that pool they put in last year on margin, mm, that cottage they bought during COVID. Now the mortgage has to renew. It was 1.5. Now it's 3.6. Can you handle 3.6? Mm.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
there's no equity in it because the equity went backwards because it's a buyer's market. Mm. Right.
So let me ask you, how should younger adults, especially millennials who already carry a lot of Canada's debt, be thinking about home ownership, retirement, and investing right now then?
Great question. First of all, the average debt of a Canadian right now is about $22,000 without a mortgage. For every dollar a Canadian makes, $1.83 goes out in servicing debt. I'll say that again. For every dollar a Canadian earns, $1.83 goes out to servicing debt. Most Canadians are upside down. So when you have a young person, whatever, unless your parents did you dirty, dirty, apologize and move back home. One. Okay? Two. You don't have to buy a house in Scarborough because you live in Scarborough. You can buy a house in New Brunswick. You can buy a house in Nova Scotia. You can buy a house in Manitoba. Rent it out, get property management, and have it taken care of. You do not have to buy in the jurisdiction where you live. You also don't have to buy in Canada. We have a young man living in Jacksonville, Florida, who goes by the name of the Godfather, Ray McMillan, and he will set you up with a home and a mortgage and a tenant in Florida, where the taxes are in your favor and the weather is bueno.
Yes.
You can also go back to your island of choice or your country of choice. People are building in Ghana. People are building in Jamaica. People are building in Barbados. Pick your jurisdiction. It does not have to be Canada. And you go somewhere where your dollar is in your favor. If I buy in the United States and the Canadian dollar is at a 37% disadvantage, maybe I don't choose Florida. But if I go to Jamaica, where the Canadian dollar is at $140 advantage, maybe Jamaica is a choice. So think about jurisdictions and think about owning, but not having to own right here. Imagine being 25 years old and buying something that is part of a gated community, that's in a rental community, that rents all the time, all winter long, and the 6 months that it rents between November and April pays for the whole thing. You
Hmm.
can do that. You can do that in DR. You can do that in Mexico. Well, before Mexico, Mexico's kind of changed in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
There's a lot
Yeah.
going on in the world, Dr. Vive. A lot going on in the world.
Absolutely. Um, as we start to wind it down here, you've had conversations about banks versus credit unions and the importance of relationships. In 2026, how should people decide where to keep and move their money?
Everything's negotiable, Dr. Vibe. And whoever's willing to negotiate with you, bend a little bit, go with them. So if you go to a big five bank and they say it is what it is, you can go to a credit union and say, this bank just said it is what it is. The credit union may say that's what it is over there, but over here is this. The online bank will say that's what the credit union said, that's what the big bank said, this is what we say. So go and do your due diligence. If they're a bank and they're in Canada, that means Canadian Depository Insurance Corporation covers them, and they will not be able to open if they're not legitimate in this country. We have one of the toughest banking regulations around the world, which is why we didn't go under in 2008 like our friends south of the border. So go in and see what bang is for the buck. Can you get interest on a checking account? You can in some banks. The big banks, no. Listen, there's let me see if I can send this to you. I'm gonna send it to you and see if you can post this right away, because this here will make you sick to your stomach if I can find it. Hold on, Dr. Vibe. We're about to have people vex with me, eh? Let me see here. Hold on, if I can find this here. Yeah, I got it. Oh, I'm sending it to you. Do you want it to WhatsApp or do you want it to text?
Text.
Text. Here we go. You need to post this for me, Dr. Vibe. Incoming. Let's just end it on this, Dr. Vibe.
Oh, I saw this. I saw you post this.
Yes.
Okay, let's see if I can do a real quick on this. I saw the post on this. Let's see. Okay, rates. Okay, let's see if I'll have to probably do a shared screen. Okay, so I'm sending it to my email now. You mean those organizations that don't make money? Good.
Buddy, let's look at the numbers. I want everyone, you're about to see something that should make you throw up in your mouth. Okay?
Yes, numbers don't lie.
This is for the first quarter.
Okay,
the first quarter's not even over. It's January and February.
See if
and
I
a couple
can.
of days in March.
Okay, why aren't you?
Wait till he shows you this.
Yeah, I saw you. Okay, let's give me a second. I'll take a look at it again. Thank
you, Dr. Tachi, for the kudos on the spectacles there. I gotta mix it up a little bit, you know.
Yes, I didn't get a chance to. Okay, next. Okay, let's try again. So this
eyewear is my jam. I love it.
Yes, you've always been on that game. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, let's see if we can bring up this screen. I don't know if this will make people, it's just a somber note, but it's a realistic note. So let's do this. Okay, here we go. Share. Okay, let me take this off.
Okay, boys and girls, read it and weep. These are the 6 biggest banks in the country of Canada. Diesel's $2 a liter. Gas is $1.84 a liter. And right now, RBC profit for the first, not even the first 90 days of 2026, $5.79 billion, up 12%. TD, $4.4 billion, up 45%. CIBC, $3.1 billion, up 43%. BMO, $2.49 at 18%. Look, Scotiabank, $2.3, up 230%. National Bank, $1.25 billion at 25%. How are you doing, Canada? How are you doing? Because they're doing very well. And every time you have money in one of these institutions and they give you the runaround as to why they can't lend you money, you need to ask them why. Because guess what's happening, boys and girls? The European Union has said, bond MasterCard and Visa. And they're creating their own credit card based on the European standard, so they don't have to give processing fees to American companies because
yes, I saw that.
Yes, the President of the United States is upsetting a lot of people.
I
He's
saw
upsetting a lot
that
of people.
about, yeah. They're not liking the visas of the world.
Billions of dollars per month are going to go the way of the dodo bird. Okay.
Wow.
Chinese cars are coming to Canada. 49,000 Chinese cars are coming to Canada. Even with the tariffs they're going to put on them, they're going to be cheaper than Teslas, and they are light years ahead of Teslas.
So the average made by the banks, almost 62%. That was the average.
Thank you, Dr. Vibe, for the quick maths. My question to you, Dr. Vibe Universe, are you getting those types of returns on where you have your money in these institutions? And if you're not, what are you going to do about it? Because good is better than great, and good is better than being perfect. Do something. If not with me, get together with somebody who knows something about what I was talking about here today. You know, my style is not for everybody. I try to be as congenial as possible, but sometimes, you know, people can't. The bald, bespectacled, bearded Bajan is not for everybody. But if I am, reach out. The information is on the screen. If I'm not, find somebody who's knowledgeable and licensed in the place where you are to show you the way. Springing into your finances is all about taking a look and getting over the malaise of having to pay the taxes and figure out what you're going to do differently while you still have 9 months to recover. This is why we're doing it now. We should have done it in December, but we didn't know how bad the taxes were going to be because you didn't have your T4s, W-2s in the States. Now you do. So now what are you going to do differently? Do you owe money? Are you receiving money? Are you close to zero? Are you optimized? Do you have your beneficiaries done right? Do you have your will, living will, and power to turn together? Do you have enough life insurance? Did you have a new baby, buy a new house, buy a new car? Is everything okay? Because things change. How about getting a checkup? A financial needs analysis, a review annually with your advisor to see where you are and where you want to go and see if it still makes sense. Last year's strategy was US and Canada. This year's strategy, maybe not.
Well, even more so, Wayne, just the events have happened over the last week, right?
Facts.
People should be running to people like Wayne right now because, as I said, gas prices have gone up. The president of the United States is saying the U.S. is going to come back lower than it already is. I don't know about that. But whenever drastic shifts are happening, it's certainly time. I think it's a combination. Right now, it's tax season plus this increase in inflation. That's a left-right.
Well, here's the good news. The reason you can kick Iran in the butt is because you already took over Venezuela.
And Cuba's next.
Well, Cuba's already being starved by oil. And if they were getting oil from Iran, they can't get oil from Iran anymore because Iran is fighting for his life. So the United States has Venezuelan oil for free because it owns Venezuela. It has Canadian oil at 68 cents a barrel, $68 a barrel, regardless of what oil goes to. They get it at a discount because they are our number one trading partner, and we have no pipelines going east-west. We only have pipelines going north-south. So they don't need Canadian oil as much because Venezuelan oil is cheap. And it costs less to extract Venezuelan oil than it costs to extract tar sand oil. So I'm saying this for everybody on the call, especially the Americans on here, who think Donald Trump doesn't know what he's doing.
Oh.
Donald Trump knows exactly what he's doing. And he's everyone thinks Trump is playing checkers. Trump is playing chess.
No. He knows exactly what he's doing but see, I'll leave it on this note. There's a person's name that you're not hearing much in all this, and he's the person that has dealt most with the Arab world that people are not thinking.
You
want to take a guess?
Dealt with the Arab world. He's
more
American?
during 47's time than anybody else, especially since he's come back to power.
Who, Bannon?
No.
No idea.
You want a hint?
Go ahead.
He does a lot of negotiation.
There's a lot of negotiation.
He's doing a
I
lot
don't know.
in regards to settling wars and
His son-in-law.
oh yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Hey, listen.
see, no one's hearing about. See, you're not hearing about his name in all of this. But if you look at, he's frontline in all the negotiations, especially
Yes.
with that part of the world.
Yes.
He's dealt with a lot of the key players there, more than 47 has. So
Facts.
47 is going to him probably more than anybody else to find out how can 47 benefit the most in power plays.
Well, let me tell you this. The next 3 months coming into summer, we're going to hear less and less about the Epstein files, less and less about domestic agenda, and more about the threat to the U.S. from the world that is destabilizing through its foreign policy. So the word on the street is something epic is going to happen to the United States because of what they have done in the last 90 days.
Wouldn't be a surprise.
Yeah, I hope not. I hope not, because the people don't deserve it. They're not the ones at the table making the policy. But I want Americans to be safe.
So do I, but I'll end it on this part. There was a time that, and look at this figuratively, when you got a knock at the door and it was someone you didn't like, America would be the person to save you. Now it's the Americans knocking at the door wanting you. Think about that.
Yeah, look, Spain said you can't have your planes on our base, and then Trump said 100% sanctions on Spain. We're not buying anything from you ever again. Wow. I mean, it's real out there in those streets. I mean, I'm going to go buy some popcorn right now so I can watch some news and see what's going on, because while I was gone,
well, I'll send you some links to some stuff that I don't watch a lot of it, but I do watch some of it. And especially this thing I watched last night about Jared Kushner. I said, you know something? You're not hearing his name, but it makes sense. Son-in-law, he's done all that negotiation, not only in the Middle East, but in Poland, all that stuff. So, you know, he's going to go to his boy to see how he's going to benefit the most out of it. It's a family thing.
Right.
And it's a good, as much as you may not like 47, one thing you got to realize, him take care of his family.
To the tune of what is he at now? 1.3, 1.4 billion
right?
in profits since he's been in power, a year.
Right. So this is what I'm saying. Someone's saying here, I heard he got about 6 B already. I wouldn't doubt it.
I wouldn't doubt it. And this person also said that they're struggling here in New York, trying to find a job while holding onto my house.
Here in New York, trying to find a job while holding my house. Hey, we emphasize, because you're not, unfortunately, there's so many people, and there's going to be so more people like that on the daily.
Here's what I'm going to say. Here's what I'm going to say to anybody struggling looking for a job. The number one skill that's required by all companies at any given time is the ability to sell.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to sell, go read a book, go watch YouTube, take a course online, but learn how to win friends and influence people. And I don't care what it is, but if you know how to sell, you will always have work, because they're always looking for people who can shake a hand, ask a few questions, qualify a client, and then give them what they ask for.
Yeah, solve their problem.
And solve the problem. It's a skill that I have developed over the years, and trust me, it saved my bacon through every recession.
Mm-hmm. So Dr. Chachi says about the current government, absolutely despicable. Another person here says it's going to get worse. Yeah, it is. And not only economically, but you watch the social impact. You watch the social impact.
Yeah.
And then Dr. Tachi close out. That's excellent advice, Wayne. All right. So again, if you want to get a hold of Mr. Harris, website, email, Instagram, it's there. As we close out, as he's boxing, Mama said, knock you out.
I'm knocking out debt. I'm knocking out debt. I'm knocking out
there
taxes.
you go.
I'm
You're
knocking out credit.
out debt. I like that. I like that.
Knocking out debt, knocking out credit, buddy. Knocking
Well,
out
look,
taxes.
here's another interesting question here. Better to learn trading, Forex trading. You better be rich, even if nukes go off.
I can tell you this. By the time anybody who is playing small ball and Forex made any money, the big boys have already taken their profits.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
it's done. It's
I
done.
wouldn't recommend it, but hey, do you?
All right. Subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube. Mitch Harris, I know you got to run because you're going to go get your popcorn and fill up your gas tank.
Yes.
We'll let you go as always. Be well and keep the faith. All the best to the family. Thanks again. All right. Subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube. Hit the notification button. Like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Blue Sky, and Substack. To advertise your business, product, or service on any of our platforms, please email me, dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. Let me see if I've got anything. Yes, I got some other things I may want to put up here. I think that, oh, of course. Let me just do this. I got to find it now. Hold on. If you want to find out more about myself or the Dr. Vibe Show, also you can go to this link, taplink.cc/the drvibeshow.com. Dr. Tachi says, thanks, Wayne. My question is, Dr. Tachi, have you ever chatted with Wayne? I'm very curious if you ever have, but you know what? It's all good. So this is how we ended off. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get smaller to get stronger. Block assumptions. Aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourself grace. And if you're not making money, make history. But try to do both and make it better. As always, God bless. Peace well. Keep the faith, walk good, and spring into finance. Keep the faith.